Hello, my friends of Qatari Labs. Welcome to the to this webinar. This webinar is about Geopandas. Thank you for following us. There was an issue with the Meet, because usually was the beginning was going to be through the Meet. However, since there were so many people attending, so we decided to make it through the a YouTube streaming. Okay, so I hope that the problem with with the YouTube streaming is that there is a lag. Okay, so actually what I am saying, or what is, it will take around 20 seconds for you to be seen. Okay, so whatever you have any questions so let me know. Okay, for the people that were on the Google Meet, I will say that go to the YouTube streaming link that is on the chat, please. Okay, I hope that for this time you have already the Conda environment installed on your computer. So if you have the Conda environment installed on your computer, please type 1. Okay, usually the dynamics on our webinars is that you have to type on the chat, and then here is how I will measure if you are I will measure the speed of the code that I do. Okay, so if you have the geospatial Conda environment, please type 1. On the description of the webinar, for the people that are on the Meet, there is a link on the stream for a YouTube stream on the chat. Please follow that link. Okay, so we have downloaded from our server, and then you have unzipped it, and then you have placed it on your document. Okay, it is really important that you place on your documents. Why? Because as you know, that is the Anaconda is related to the position of the folder. Okay, so since we want to assure that everybody will have the same experience, so it has to be there. Okay, actually, but it's also possible that you can run it from other place, but it will be well, we could have more troubles here. Okay, so here I'm going to expand my configuration. Okay, great. So, and here we are going to call Anaconda prom and say Conda env list. Okay, so on the environment that we are going to have, we have, in my case, it's called Qatari Labs, but in your case it will be whatever. I mean, like whatever name you give when you created the environment. So I say Conda activate Qatari Labs, and then if you have activated your environment, because the name of the environment will be here, please type 2. Okay, please type 2. For the people that are connected to the Meet, please go to the streaming link that is on the chat. And then here we say cd. Okay, and then here we say cd documents. We type there, and then here we find webinar of introduction to Geopandas for flood impact analysis, cd webinar of introduction of Geopandas for flood impact analysis. Okay, great, great. So here we are. Okay, and then here I have seen that some of you actually do not have the environment because uh, the version of Anaconda that you are using is just maybe the one of 1 month ago, and so okay. So who else is here with me? Please type 2. And yes, yeah, what I found is that um, yep, yeah, what I found is just 10 people have the environment. Okay, have could have activated the environment. Really sorry, I mean it was on the description of the video and kind of, yeah, was needed. Okay, so for the other people that are just watching this webinar, okay, yeah, you can also interact through the chat. I mean, because it's um, important. Okay, and here we launch our Jupyter Lab. You can do that in Jupyter Notebook. Yes, you can do that in Jupyter Notebook, but in our case, we are going to work in Jupyter Lab. So, and this is my Jupyter Lab. And then as you see, this is kind of black because I use the Jupyter Dark, but you can, maybe you have it in this way, that this is the Jupyter Notebook. Okay. Okay, great. There are other people that wants to use Google Colab. Actually, I do not. Yeah, people can do that. Here, actually, I do know few of that. Okay, so if you can manage to do in Google Colab, it's up to you. For the people that are on the Meet, please go to the stream link that we have provided. Okay. Yes, I don't know. I do not have any experience with Google Colab. I cannot talk about that. Okay, so here we go to the notebook folder, and then we open a new notebook that will be called webinar. Okay, webinar. Great, great. So, well, let's say, let's import Geopandas. Import Geopandas as GPD. Okay, Geopandas is based on Pandas and is based in a lot of things, so I will talk about that. Import matplotlib.pyplot as plt. Okay, shift enter or run the cell. Okay, and if that turns a number here, that will mean that you were successful in importing your pandas. Okay, if you are here with me, please type 3. Okay, what is Geopandas? We are not going to go over the documentation in this webinar. However, it is recommended for you to do so. Okay, because you will see that Geopandas is the compilation of a lot of things. Okay, Geopandas actually works with GEDAL, use the Geos library, uses Fiona, uses Shapely. It has Matplotlib capabilities. It creates a Geopandas. It can work with geometries. It is a lot of things, and maybe because it has a lot of things, it is so complicated to, well, it is so complicated to install it. Okay, so actually you cannot do that natively just by typing pip install geopandas. You are not going to have geopandas installed. Okay, any questions? The videos will be through our Patreon site, however that is paid. Okay, and that's it. Okay, so this is the repository of all the webinars that we give. Great. So let's see. Let's continue. Okay, so here you are going to use, here we have some shape files in our, we have a voice flood and a shape file and two geopack, well, we have a geopackage and we have the highways and the schools. Okay, great. Yes, okay, so let's see, let's have a review on our QGIS. Okay, for all of you, who of you do not know about QGIS? Let me know. Please type it in the chat. Please type 4 if you don't know about QGIS. Okay, for the other people that has QGIS, please open your QGIS because we are going to review the shape files. Okay, and I think QGIS is supporting Ukraine. Okay, so let's see. Here on documents, here we have the data and here we have the shape files and here we have the flooding. Okay, and then here we have a geo package that has the primary highways and the source. Okay, yeah. Okay, QGIS is an open source software that is similar to any other commercial software of GIS. Okay, it has all the capabilities and is really open source, so it's strongly recommended that you can give a chance to QGIS, and in the case that it happens as well that you use any cracked commercial software, I mean, please go through the right way, and the right way is to use open source software instead of cracking other software. Okay, so yes, so here we have the 3 layers. Here we have the schools, hospitals, police, and, well, here they are, the schools, hospital, police, and fire are here, and then we see that some of these installations are really close to the, no, are in the flooding zone. And then on the primary highways we see as well that some highways are on the flooding zone. Okay, and this is the polygon. Okay, the system of reference here we are working in 4326, that is EPSG 4326 is WGS84. Okay, if you are here with me or you just feeling with me, please type 5. Okay, if you are here with me, please type 5. That is the problem with the YouTube stream, because on the YouTube stream actually the lag is much, I mean there is a lag, while in the Meet there is no lag. Okay, great. So I will close it, and why I will close it, because once you have the file open, actually kind of you block this file to be open or written or modified through Geopandas. Okay, Well, sometimes happens, sometimes doesn't happen, but well, it will be better to close it because we want to be sure that we can do it that with Geopandas. Okay, I'm going to decrease this. Okay, and continue my. So we are going to open the flooded areas. So it's flooded areas is equal to gpd read file, and then this is two folders up, one folder up, data, shapes, and then here this is Boise flat 200 years shapefile. Okay, and flooded areas dot head, and let's see what we have. I mean, we are opening a shapefile. Okay, and then here is what we have. Okay, and then what you see here, and then I will ask how many polygons do we have in this shapefile. Please type it through the chat. How many polygons do we have on this shapefile? Okay, so actually flooded areas, if I just have pointed the head, because the head is a command in Pandas for the first 5 rows. Okay, however, if I don't type head, it is the same. I mean, is how many polygons? That was the question. Okay, and for the people that are, there are some questions here, okay, that are actually not, that actually some of you can help your friends. Okay, so if you find a question on the chat where you can help your friends, it will be really helpful for me. Okay, because actually, okay, for the people that are on the Meet, please go to the YouTube stream link that is on the chat. Okay, there is only one. Yeah, there is only one. Yeah, and this is the metadata. This is the table of attribute. Till here, this is the metadata. This is what you are going to see, and the other is the geometry, and this is the kind of the new things here. What is a geometry? The geometry is an object that can represent point, lines, and polygons. Although there are some other type of geometry like multi-lines, multi-polygons, and so on. But however, in the real sense, or in the practical sense, it can represent point, lines, and geometry and polygons. Okay, or any other shapefile that you have seen. I mean, if you have seen, if you have a shapefile of points, that will be imported as a geometry of points. If you have a shapefile of lines, it will be imported as a geometry of lines. And then if you have a geometry of polygons, it will be imported as a geometry of polygons. Okay, great. So let's continue. So let's see, and then we can, for example, for any other, we can get the columns. I mean, just the columns, because sometimes if we want to iterate over the columns, we flooded areas columns, and this is, well, this is a command of Pandas as well, and it gives you all the columns. Okay, all the heads of the columns. If you are here with me, please type 6. If you are here with me, please type 6. Great. But however, this is kind of Pandas. I mean, you knew Pandas before, you don't knew Pandas before. I assume that you have some Pandas knowledge. Okay, however, you can type on the chat which is your real situation with Pandas. Great. So, but however, this is not, I mean, the Geopandas is not something that can open, but Geopandas can do more. Okay, so let's say flooded areas bounds. Okay, and this is the, for example, here this is the minimum, the maximum, and this is our degrees because we are working in WGS84 geographical coordinates. Okay, great. And then as well we can do plots as well. So flooded areas dot plot. Okay, so dot plot, open and close parentheses, and then here we can have, and this is where we see, or then when we see the capability, because we can have, I mean, a representation of our shapefile without opening a GIS software. Okay, just on, I mean, you are processing many data and then you want to see how is the shapefile, or like the shapefile is the like the right one, so you can open that with, or you can do a quick representation with plot. Okay, and for example we can calculate areas since we are working now. Okay, since we are working now in WGS84, so our area will be square degrees, and actually square degrees is nothing that you might be interested. So that is why we are going to do flooded areas UTM is equal to flooded areas to CRS of 32611. So, and this is a EPSG code that transforms the geographical coordinates to WGS84, but as a UTM, as a transverse Mercator on the zone 11 north. Okay, so and then flooded areas UTM, so I use tab for auto completion. We are going to create a new column that is called area. We are going to create a new column that is called area, that is called flooded area, flooded areas UTM dot area, and then that area, this is square meters, but since this is a huge area, so we want to create an area but as a square kilometer. So flooded areas UTM, we create another column that is called area as a square kilometer, it will be flooded area UTM dot area dot, and then we divided the area in 1 million, 1 and 6 zeros. Okay, great. So, and then you might be interested to see, okay, yeah, you have done that, but you have to show me which is the flooded areas UTM. So if we call it, we see that the area in square kilometers of the flooded area is 29 square kilometers. Okay, and this is, you did that calculation in Python. Congratulations. If you are here with me, please type 7. If you are here with me, please type 7. Great, such a great person. Okay, since now we are doing some interesting things, please through the chat, since I want to, okay, some people have already done it, please have a quick introduction. For example, I will do a quick introduction for me, hydrogeologist, numerical modeler. So numerical modeler, my name is Saul Montoya, I am a hydrologist numerical modeler. My Python level is advanced intermediate. advanced, and I am from Peru. Okay, so you can introduce yourself through the chat as well. Okay, so please introduce yourself so I can get a feeling of, well, of the audience, because actually this is kind of. So let's open the primary highways as well. Primary highways is equal to gpd read file, okay, and then say data shape file primary highways dot, okay, great. And then here we type head. Why? Because here we have more than 5 table, 5 here we have more than 5 columns. Okay, so and then as in any other Geopandas, the geometry will be the last column. Okay, if you are here with me, please type 8. Okay, we have people from Colombia, El Salvador, with intermediate, beginner level. Okay, okay, beginner. Okay, from Ethiopia. Great, thank you for the people that have introduced yourself. People that are pro in QGIS, okay, thank you, but new to Python. Okay, we usually do these webinars, and then we knew that this was a hot topic, and actually this is the kind of the biggest audience that we had. Okay, however, yeah, maybe the next topic, that is pirate weathering modeling with Frixie and Python, won't be such. But okay, so anybody that has interest also can come to the next webinar that will be published today. Okay, great. So let's continue. Okay, so as you have seen, we have done the geopackage. And what is a geopackage? I mean, Geopandas can open any OGC standard. Well, I mean, at least I know most. I mean, and what is a OGC standard? I mean, is anything that can open QGIS. That is shape files, geopackage, KElement, map info files. I mean, all of these are standards, and if this is a standard, actually this can be open as well with Geopandas. That is why we have demonstrated that it can open the geopackage. Okay, I will comment this because I want that you got the most amount of code. Okay, and then as well, you, for example, you want the columns, primary highway columns, because for some analysis those are all the columns. Okay, great, so I can comment this as well. But here, for example, I want to see primary highways value. Okay, so value, that is actually the name of the highway. Okay, okay, name. Okay, and then here we see, as if we open the file, we see the name of every every line. Okay, so I mean some of the lines belong to the North Highway 55, some of the lines belong to the North Eagle and something like that. But you want to have some statistics here about how many, I mean, like how many elements have each highway. Okay, so that for that you get this value counts. Okay, and this is a method that will value counts. Sorry, value counts. Okay, and they say, okay, from your shape file, the highway that has the biggest amount of reaches or parts is this one. Okay, this is the next one, and so on. Okay, and then you just have one highway or one path that belongs to this one. Okay, so if you are here with me, please type if you are here with me, please type 9. Okay, well, we have people as well from India, from Mexico, from Texas, from Morocco, Hungary, France, from Uganda, from Austria, and then there is a guy that wants to run on yeah, and there is a guy in Linux that wanted to install Geopandas through pip, and it can use. Okay, the solution is you can also work with a content environment in Linux. Okay, or like, well, it's really complicated to install Geopandas in any operating system. Okay, I strongly recommend to follow the same tutorial but in Linux. From Cesar Holguin from Quintana Roo, from South Africa, from Portugal. Okay, great. Okay, I will close the Google Meet because I think that no one will be here anymore. Okay, so let's continue. So here this is a great function, but this is actually a function of pandas. Let's see a function that is really of GeoPandas. Okay, so we are going to fig ax is equal to plt subplots of fig size of 16,16, and then we are going to go primary highways plot. We are going to call it column name ax. This is the subplot. Legend is equal to true. Categorical is equal to true, and let's see what happens. If you see what happens, okay, I'm going to comment this. I'm going to comment this just to show you the most amount of code. Okay, and then here you have a plot of all the, well, supposedly it's not the same color, but okay, well, but you have here a plot of all the highways, okay, with a different legend and with a different color, and as well with a legend, and this is really awesome to do. Okay, for people that want the script is actually here. Okay, this is the, well, every time that we give a webinar, we have a, can I say, a script, or like a backup script here. So actually, if it doesn't work for you, you can always come here. But but if you are following us and it's working well, don't look at the script now. Okay, so AX is a subplot, and subplot is something from Geopandas, no, from Matplotlib, that creates a, that is, I mean, it's kind of confusing because it's a, you can create mixed plots. However, uh, most package use subplots to represent their data. Okay. Okay, if you are here with me, please type 1. I'm going to comment this, just me, in order to show you the most amount of code. Okay, so for example, you want to plot, I want to plot this, but I don't want to plot only the highways, okay, but I want to plot as well the flooded areas. Flooded areas, plot of AX is equal to AX, where alpha is equal to 0.5. Okay, great. And then here we have a plot that has the flooded area. Okay, and that is awesome. And then here alpha is the transparency, because it's actually, I put the transparency as 1, or like, because by default is 1, you will have the polygon that is actually, how say, over close, override, no, that will block, that will be on top of the highways. Okay, thank you for following this. You are such a great group. Okay, so now we have finished. I am going to, just me, I'm going to comment this, and now we are going to work with polygons. Okay, because we have worked with lines, I mean the highways as line, but now we are going to come as polygons. So primary facilities is equal to gpd dot read file data shapefile, and then this will be schools, hospital, police, and fire. Okay, great. Primary facilities head. Okay, let's see. And then here we see the amenity. Well, this is the classification. This, well, for example, the first 4 rows are the schools, because we're just plotting the head, and this is the number of this, the name of the school, and this is the multi-polygon, because the geometry is a polygon, is a set of many polygons. I mean, it's a group of many polygons. Okay, if you are here with me, please type 2. If you are here with me, please type 2. Okay, great. And now what we are going to do is that, well, we want to see which are the types of amenities that there are. Okay, so say primary facilities amenity, and then we just type unique, and this will give you the unique values on this column. Okay, the unique values. Actually, there was another method that give you the number of values. I mean, the number that the value was repeated, but in this case, this one only gives the unique. Okay. And as well, we do that a lot in Pandas. We recycle the code. So here, actually, primary facilities, load the column amenity, and then we do that in order to be legend true, categorical. Okay, and these are the amenities, and here you can see which are the fire stations, which are the hospital, and which are the schools. Okay, if you are here with me, type 3. If you are here with me, type 3. Okay, and as well we can type the flooded areas, and then we can plot the flooded areas, and then we see that over the polygons, the ones that are on the flooded area are hospitals. Really interesting. Okay, we don't see, but actually we are going to create a query to do that. Okay, but we don't see schools there, or we don't see fire stations there. Okay, so that's why here. Okay, I'm going to comment this, and we can continue. Okay, let's do some spatial operations. Okay, so for example, I want to, okay, something that you have to know about. Okay, Juan Luis, they say if you import Geopandas, it's not necessary to import Pandas. No, it's not necessary. Okay, once it's Geopandas, you can do the Pandas operation over the Geopandas object. Okay, something that you have to be sure, and it happens as well with QGIS, that you have to check about the system of reference of every shapefile that you are going to work with. Okay, why? Because sometimes, I mean, we do that. I mean, we work with shapefiles that are on different projections, and actually when you do the spatial operation among them, the spatial operation actually do not take into account the system of reference. I mean, take into account the value of the coordinates, and then for that you can have some problems. I mean, that's why when you do an intersection, actually you get no value or empty. Okay, for example, so that is why we are going to check the system reference of all our objects. So with that, CRS, and then primary facilities, CRS. Okay, so we check that all of the 3 Geopandas objects are on WGS 84. Okay, if you are here with me, please type 4. Okay, I'm going to copy this again. Okay, but in this case we are going to do flooded. It will be to flooded areas, highways. It will be primary highways. Name AX. Okay, and then we have schools. Well, school primary amenity. In this case, we type legend, and we can type we can change the C map, the color map, plasma. Something else that we are going to use here is we are ax.set aspect, and then this is important, set aspect is equal. And what does it mean equal? Okay, I will show you what does it mean equal, and plt show. Okay, so what does it mean set aspect equal? When you plot something in Matplotlib, actually Matplotlib can exaggerate some values, okay, in order to create a better graph, or a graph that covers or fit the screen. Okay, so but if you put set ax set aspect equal, actually you are requesting that the code actually have whatever is will be 1 unit here, or like for example 0.15 here, actually will be 0.15 here. Okay, so this is 0.5 degrees, and this is no, this is 0.05 degrees, and this is 0.05 degrees. Okay, so that is okay. This is what aspect equal does. Okay, if you are here with me, please type 5. If you are here with me, please type 5. Okay, great. So let's continue. Okay, so now we have this. Actually, it is possible to have a base map here. Okay, and then how we do that? We do that with Folium. Okay, and if you don't have Folium, you can install it inside Jupyter Notebook, like say pip install Folium. Okay, do that if you don't have that installed. Okay, but in my case I have installed it, and once you have run it, you have to run just once you comment it. Okay, then we for example, Folium requires that you don't have multi lines or multi polygons, so you have to defloat to dissolve flooded dissolve is equal to flooded areas dissolve, and then as you see, this actually also exists in GIS. Okay, okay, so this is the same, okay, but it's dissolve. Okay, this is just a check. Okay, and for the Folium we need a reference X and Y to create the Folium object. So I say reference X is equal to flooded dissolve dot centroid. Otherwise it cannot give you a centroid as well. X, and ref Y is equal to flooded dissolve centroid Y, and then say, and then here say map is equal to Folium map. Okay, but here we have to import Folium. Okay, because actually we have installed Folium. I say import Folium map. Okay, we create the object where location is equal to ref Y ref X tiles, and then we can select the tiles. In this case there are many tiles, but in this case we want OpenStreetMap and zoom start 13. And then OpenStreetMap. Okay, great. So here you have the well, right now what you have is an object of the map, a map object on the coordinates, okay, of your area, because you see the Boise River there. Okay, there are some warnings here, and actually I try to overcome this warning. However, it's not possible because those are incompatibilities in between Folium and Geopandas and some other things, or like Geopandas incompatibilities. Okay, so that's why. And then what you are seeing there is a warning. Okay, so it's something that you have to know, but actually it won't be critical for this. We dissolve that in order to because whether it's not dissolved, I mean, you cannot get a centroid. Okay, that's why we have default, but in this case it's the same because there is only one object. Okay, so if you are here with me, please type 6. Okay, who else? Please type 6. Okay, well, amazing. Okay, so now we are going to add our lines. Okay, there is a great question from OpenStreetMaps. Yes, I mean, when you use Folium, by default you have to use WGS84. Okay, you cannot use Folium with UTM, as long as I know. Okay, so now we are going to do, because, and this is a really interesting part, so actually I'm going to comment this. No, I'm going to comment this as well. Okay, yeah, because we are going to do a smooth. Okay, we are going to do a smooth, and why? Okay, and then this is important, because when you are going to create a, if your geometry has more amount of vertex, actually it will be harder to do the spatial queries. Okay, so that is why we are going to, first we are going to, for the polygon or flooded areas, we are going to get the number of vertex, and for as well for the highways. Okay, and then we are going to do a simplified version. So m vertex flooded is equal to, we open a list that is a np array of raw geometry exterior chords. Okay, of the, because it's a polygon, and in the polygon you have the exterior and the interior, because your polygon can have holes. Shape of 0 for index row in flooded areas, iter rows. Okay, what you are seeing here, this is a list comprehension. It might seem kind of abstract, but it's really a great choice to do many operations in one line. And why you want to do many operations in one line? Because you don't want to type a lot, or then you want to no, this is, sorry, this is flooded area light. And this enables flooded is equal, once again, another np array of raw exterior chords, shape 0 for row in flooded areas light. Flooded areas light. Sorry. Sorry. Yeah. M vertex flooded. okay, and then here, sorry, I m vertex highways. So this is a MP array of raw geometry chords shape 0 for index row in primary highways dot iter rows. Okay, and then we can print the sum of m vertex flooded and print the sum of m vertex highways. Okay, so okay, so that is okay. So here we have that the flooded areas has a lot of vertex, so it has 41,000 vertex, while the highway has only 2,280. Okay, so that is, you got the amount of vertex. Okay, so if you are here with me, please type 7. Okay, great, such a great group. Okay, now what we are going to decrease the vertex of the flooded areas. We are going to create a new Geopandas object that is flooded areas light is equal to flooded areas dot simplify, that is the method that simplify, that also appears that in tolerance, because those are GEDAL methods. So actually we are just doing GEDAL. Okay, so I say m vertex. Okay, so m vertex flooded is equal to mp.array of raw exterior dot chords shape 0 for raw in flooded areas light, and say print sum of m vertex flooded. Okay, so now with that method we have decreased the 41 vertex to 3000. But if you want to see how is the final, so you can also plot it. I mean, if you are curious and say, okay, I mean, you have decreased the number of vertex, but I want to see if this is similar. Okay, I see that is similar. Well, in that, I mean, if we do some zoom, actually we will see that the simplification effect. But for as long as it seems it works well. Okay, so and now what we are going to do, we are going to get our Folium object, zoom start 12, and now we are going to do flooded JSON, because for Folium we have to apply GeoJSON, Folium GeoJSON of data, and this is flooded areas light to JSON. Everything is JSON. Okay, style function is equal to lambda. Lambda is when you want to do a function inside the line X. I have used that seldom, but actually it's always hard to see how it fill color. Royal blue. Okay, and then we close it. Okay, so if we run this, okay, so sorry, we are going to, and then we do flooded JSON to, okay, we have defined that, but we have to insert into our map. So you will see here in this, okay, where you can do your zoom in, zoom out. Here you can see, like in any canvas of GIS, your objects with a base map. Okay, isn't that awesome? If you are here with me, please type 8. If you are here with me, please type 8. Okay, but okay, amazing. Okay, so we are going to copy this twice because so this is primary JSON, so this is Folium to GeoJSON, and this is primary highways to JSON, and this is color dark green, and this is facility JSON. Crimson. And then we add this. And this offZone tool actually gave us the representation of the three objects in something that is interactive, where you can do zoom and zoom out. Okay, if you are here with me, please type 9. You have any questions, let me know. Okay, great. Such a great group. Do we need? Yeah, we need the lambda in order to define this. The okay, this is the notation of why we need that. Okay, I I I mean, you can use a function as well. However, uh, mm, I found that in the documentation. Okay, so now what we have, where we have done the representation, something like, okay, so and then we are going to analyze which are the facilities that are flooded. Okay, so that is the okay. So we want to see which facilities are flooded. So we are say, because we want to export just the flooded facility, for index facility in primary facilities dot iter rows 2 points flooded status is equal to flooded dissolve intersects facility geometry of 0. Okay, print flooded status. Okay, we are going to print it, and then we are going to apply this to a new column, primary facilities dot log index dot flooded. Okay, we are going to create a new column that will store the flooded status. Okay, if you are here with me, please type 1. Okay, why? Because we have created a new column that will say whether the facility will be flooded or it won't be flooded. Okay, and then okay, so this is the first step. So we have tagged whether it's flagged or not. It's not flagged. Okay, if you are here with me, please type 1. Okay, and now, okay, what we are going to do, we are going to do a filter, but this is a filter on pandas. Facilities is equal to primary facilities, where primary facilities flooded is equal to true. So I say flooded facilities dot head, and then here we see, okay, great. So this is our where we, as we have said, two hospitals will be are on the, and those are the two hospitals. Well, however, the other hospital have no name. Well, that is, but those are the hospitals that are going to be on the flooded area. Okay, and then finally we can, okay, but okay, I want this as a geospatial information. I don't want this to be just as a table. No, I want this as a, so flooded facilities of geometry to file out flooded dot gpkg geopackage. Okay, you can also type it as shapefile, for example, shapefile. Okay, so you shift enter, and then if you open QGIS again, while it's opening QGIS, I wanted to mention that we are offering well, if you want to improve, whether you want to improve your Python capabilities, or whether you want whether you don't know Python and then you want to get a real Python level where you can do and work or do your research with Python, I strongly recommend to follow this diploma in Python for water resources and geoscience. This diploma actually takes 6 months, and it comprises the basic concepts of GeoPython. You will be it has the objective of becoming proficient with the common tools of Python as NumPy, Pandas. It has a complete module on data visualization, because we want that you use Python to represent, I mean, you have the best tools to represent your data. Then it has as well another a module on just geospatial Python, because as well it want to improve you, or to give you the tools that you where you can do all your spatial analysis just with Python. And as well machine learning, because machine learning in Python is just a easy tool where you can work or play around with your data easily, as I mean with ease. I mean, it's not that hard to implement machine learning. And then we have compiled a series of applied examples, and as well how Python can be inserted to another models like HEC-RAS, HEC-HMS, and so on and so. Okay, if you want to see the whole content, you can see this, because here you will see the content module class by class. There are 6 classes per month, and there are 6 months. Okay, and then you are really invited to check. If you want to follow, that will be awesome. Okay, so here let's go to the link is on the description, and here on documents we are going to the data, to the out, and then we open flooded shapefile, and those are the 2 shapefiles that are located in the zone. Okay, as you have seen, those are the 2 shapefiles that are located here. And then you can do something similar to with with highways. Okay. uh, the interactive map, I think that won't be interactive if you transfer that to PowerPoint. Also, there are some tools, but however, it won't be interactive. Okay, so that will be for today. I don't know if you have any other question. So if you don't have any other questions, just okay. If you don't have any questions, just type good night in your own language, and we see each other in any other webinar that might be interesting for you. But if you have any questions, you can let me know. If you don't have any questions, just type good night, because it will be as well approved that you were there at the end of the webinar. If you have any questions, let me know. Thank you, some board. Great, thank you for following us. Okay. Okay, so it was a pleasure to give you this. The video, it will be in our Patreon. However, I will tell you that this is paid. No live. Okay, have a nice evening. Bye bye. Bye.